Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm finally unboxing that. Man, I feel like I've been waiting for this forever. I'm always waiting on something, but this one was a big deal. This was a knife that I should have purchased when I became aware of it originally, which was years ago. And I thought, well, no big deal. For sure, they'll do it again. They did. It just took them years. And I pre-ordered this a long time ago. I think these were supposed to deliver earlier in the year, and they took a while. So really, it's felt like a long time, but it's finally here. I'm so excited to check this out. CKF, or Custom Knife Factory knives, tend to be pretty overpriced. However, this one I've got high hopes for. It was expensive, but I'm really hoping that it feels like what I paid for it. So thank you very much to my patrons for supporting me. This came from NC Blade, which is actually where I buy, I think, all of my Custom Knife Factory knives. I'm not sure if you can get them anywhere else here in the United States. But yeah, they do some awesome stuff. I know that they will have more spectacular versions of these available at some point. I'm hoping they do a shiny black DLC like the Sakosha, but I mean, I guess we'll see. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. What is this? Today's video is just an unboxing and first impressions. I am not reviewing this knife today. I will down the road. Okay, so here's the knife. I forget what the steel is. This is the Snafu. It is M398. The handle is integral. That's a big part of this. Whether or not, you care as an individual is one thing, but factually they do cost more money to create than a two-piece construction. So yeah, very cool. I'm glad to see that this is M398. All right. So, and I think we get the extra hardware as usual. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. Yes. This is bringing back so many memories. I remember, I can't remember who loaned me the one from the most recent generation, if it was Jim Skelton or whatever. But as soon as I found out they were doing a version of this knife with the carbon fiber inlays, I thought, oh, perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I would love to pick that up. So, are they serialized? Number 266, is that what that says there? Okay, so Peter Rosenti, hold on, we're going to get the blade out because I know the blade has some fancy stuff on it. Peter Rosenti, very cool collaboration here. Flat, not contoured, really nice on the back spine here with just like kind of the plane, and then we have the texturing here and a really interesting area for the lanyard hole, considering that the lanyard would actually have to come around like through here, so it'd have to run up against the edge. Doesn't matter to me because I'm never going to attach a lanyard to it. So for me, it's just a decorative hole, which is fine. So we have the thumb studs here, which are also external stops. Very cool. We have the Zircotai pivot collar on just one side, which is fine. Kind of wish they did it on both sides, but you can see here they wouldn't have had a ton of room there, considering where they cut the frame. That's okay with me. Let's go ahead and flip it. Oh boy, the detent does feel good. And yes, this is exactly the finish that I was hoping for. This is, the first time I saw this is where I got the idea that maybe it was vapor blasted. I'm not sure exactly what they call this or how they achieve it, but it is different than all of the other similar finishes that I've seen since I handled this knife. I remember this being such an attractive finish. It was the first time that I had ever seen it. I think I'd called it overcast, because it kind of looks like an overcast sky, and then it's kind of two-tone with what appears to be a hand rub satin, or maybe perhaps a machine satin finish there. And then more of that finish inside of this fuller here, which stretches out into the swedge. What an absolutely fantastic looking knife. I think technically it is a Tanto. I mean, I don't know. There is a change here. Like there's a little tiny spot right there where it goes straight and then it starts to curve. So I don't know what we'd call that. If we would actually call that a tanto, probably not. I feel like that's dumb to say that. But there is a little bit of a change there. Boy, the detent does feel good. Something I remember about the first version of this is that the detent felt a tad light. Not bad, but a tad light. You can see there, not with this guy. It's not a heavy detent, but it's certainly not a light detent either. Click, perfect. Can we use the fuller? We absolutely can. Can we use the thumb stubs? You can, a little bit pointy, but you absolutely can. This is a big knife. Nice, big, fairly roomy forward choil, and the jimping is absolutely functional. Man, here's your lockup percentage. I'm so happy. Because it makes me nervous because I had built this knife up in my head, and I'd handled so many things since then. Like my bar for quality is so much higher now than it used to be. And I had waited and waited and waited. And I was like, man, if they don't get all these little teeny tiny things perfect, it's going to be such a bummer. But yeah, let's measure this thing. It's not small. The Snafu is 8.75. Is that right? 8.75 blade length. I'm going to say that's 4 inches. I mean, if we're going right to about here, yeah, it's got a 3.9 to 4 inch blade on it. And then your cutting edge is 1/2 inch. So nice and roomy there on that forward choil. This has been aesthetically one of my favorite looking knives ever. And the only thing that bothered me about the previous generation was whatever they did with the handle. Was it just like lines or something like that? And I was like, man, that would look so much better if it was solid or textured, if they did an inlay. So this version having the inlay, I actually really like this. It almost looks like it's bronze. It's not. It's a very deep concrete silver, not really silver. It's like a very gunmetal kind of look. But it does look like there's little hints of bronze in there periodically. We have the black hardware, which goes really nicely with the carbon fiber. And then I think the Zircotite pivot collar is perfect. The blade really does stand out from the frame, but it allows both the blade and frame to look good. I'm actually super duper happy with this. So how much did this cost? This is an integral, and as we know, custom knife factory knives. If you didn't know this, right? Everybody assumes that these things, or not everybody, a lot of people assume that they're made in Russia. They are not. The company moved a while back to, I believe, Slovakia. Like the business is registered in Slovakia and everything. It's been years at this point. But many of the parts are actually manufactured or machined in China, and then they are sent back over to Slovakia for a lot of times the finish work, the sharpening, sometimes additional details depending on what is going on with the knife, especially the ones that are kind of the crazier higher end stuff. Like those are going to have a little bit more work. But that's the deal here. So what we're comparing with are high-end production Chinese knives. We do have to consider that this is an integral. Again, whether or not it matters to you is off to the side. It factually costs more money to create. This is a $590 knife. Does the price make sense? Not really. I think I could have justified probably $500. And mainly, the inlay work is really cool. The Zircotite pivot collars are cool. The blade is awesome. It's M398. It's going to cost more money than a typical M390 blade. The finish on the blade is also really, really awesome. And the knife definitely does feel like, in terms of action and just overall, the quality, right? The overall feeling of like that machining excellence that you expect from CKF. They definitely are on another level versus the general competition. So with my baseline for a really nice Chinese made integral being about $400, like if you can get it to 400 or even slightly less, that's pretty amazing, right? If you're contouring, texturing, or doing inlay work or doing special blade materials, pretty amazing if you can get it at about 400. But obviously knives can be more expensive if they're doing special things. And I think that this knife is doing special things, but I kind of knew originally paying for this thing, I was like, this isn't going to be a $600 knife, right? It's a super expensive knife, and you're definitely paying that custom knife factory tax. You're paying a little bit more because it's a custom knife factory, and Custom Knife Factory has figured that out. They know that people like me will just pay more money just because. And they really do make cool stuff. Their collabs are generally over the top, really, really awesome. I own multiple CKF knives, and they do stand out. They do look different. They do look a little more aggressive. They just look more special, and you have to wait for them. You know, that's typically the case. I am super duper happy with this knife. I love it, but I gotta be honest. Like, it doesn't feel $600. It feels $500, right? So that's, as far as CKF knives go, that's not the most offensive. I've definitely got some in my collection that I feel like are over by at least $200. That's typically what I kind of expect to feel. But I can tell you right now, what I really want is for them to do a full DLC frame with a mirror DLC blade, which I know they absolutely can do. I would buy that in a heartbeat. But I do plan on snagging another one from NC Blade whenever they decide to drop whatever their special variants are. I know they've shown off some crazy mirror polished versions of these that are going to go to the show here coming up. So yeah, maybe it'll be those. But either way, very, very cool. I know many of you probably have yours. You're probably not going to see this video for like a week or two after I actually record it. So many of you have already opened yours up, but I did want to share with you my first impressions. Really interesting where that actually contacts the frame there, but just so you know, no blade play, no lock stick. It looks like it's absolutely perfectly centered, which is great, and no detent lash. So it is exactly the quality that I expected. I'm so happy. It just feels like this has bothered me not having this knife in my collection for years. It has killed me to know that there's a slot in this 80 case that's been metaphorically reserved for this knife, and this knife has not been allowed to fill that spot until just now. This is very cool. Very, very exciting. Okay, that's going to be it until I review it. I will review this because this is the newest variation, the Snafu 4.0 or whatever they call it. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on the Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.